and I have to do a little bit of filming before I sit down. I no longer take the tea bag out of this big of a cup. I've gotten, in my old age, I like the tea stronger. All right, I need this. And what is in that? I need this, and I need this, and I have to let Gracie in now. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. Okay, so I ended up with 6 trays, 6 trays on the Nesco, and the full London Sunshine. So it's time to jar it up. I gotta get a jar, you guys, and I gotta let Gracie in. Give me a minute. I save these peach jars. They're almost a half gallon. If I can ever get any more of these peaches. I save all these peach jars with their lids for stuff just like this. Because I'm going to be taking my flour out of the freezer, or at least one bag of it soon. And that's when I use all my half gallon jars, right? I'm going to let Gracie in. I'll be right back. Coming in, you dude? Yes, Mommy's going to give you food. Don't you worry. There you go. Yes. Yes. Oh, you should see her. She's doing the kitty bee. Come here, Mommy. Cratcha, cratcha. No, I'm not going to cratcha, cratcha. Oh, there you go. All right. Now. Oh, my tea. I almost sat down. What? Oh, you're so adorable. After Mommy handles the food, okay? Then I can cratch your bum and your belly and your back. After. So I'll tell you what, folks. I was up all night until 5:30 or 6 o'clock this morning. I had to take Benadryl twice. I had the weirdest allergy attack. I had to take it like a half an hour ago so that I'm not sneezing all over the leeks. Oh, come on, just do your job here. So I'm not sneezing all over the leeks as I'm bottling them. Right up in here, I have some little tickle thing, and this eye's doing the twitchy, watery thing. No other symptoms except sneeze, 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 sneeze. So I'm pretty sure. Now, when I went out this morning to put Gracie out at 5 o'clock, I figure I'm up anyway, right? It was really cold, like whew, you could see your breath, but we didn't get a frost. Oh, stop. And I'm thinking it activated something, the cold air activated something. I've got an allergy. I've picked up an allergy. I'm just grateful. It's not, I'm not coming down with a cold because there's no fever, there's no chills. There's just this sneezing. All right, let me just get my camera set up here. And I will do a little introduction to this, and then I will leave it for speeding up. Oh God, it's so nice to have a camera again. It really is. Is Linda Bop here? I better put this on live chat. So, okay. Okay, this is how I do this. Get my tea out of the way here. I saved these peach jars. They're almost a half gallon. And they've got really nice lids and everything. Now you can't can with these. Some people will can with store-bought jars. And you know what? I can understand why. Because our home canning jars and our home canning lids aren't made for industrial strength, right? So you get a really good sealing lid and a really good quality jar because these have to be up to the standards of traveling and packaging and stacking and then putting on shelves and all that stuff. So these are actually a higher quality jar than home canning. However, I am not advocating canning with store-bought jars. Oh, the dehumidifier just shut off downstairs. So what I'm going to do here, I wish my London Sunshine opened the other way. So what I'm going to do here is, let's check these. Look at these. I want to feel them, make sure they're all really dry. Okay, yeah. So I'm just going to take this. It also could have been the leeks. It also could have been like I dehydrated the leeks in the house and they may be aggravating my nose. I don't know. And I'm going to take this jar here and I'm just going to dump this. Hear that nice papery rustling? That's a nice job of dehydrating. So we'll put that back in there. And I'm just going to use my hands here. Now these are like paper, folks. I wouldn't be surprised if I got both dehydrators in one of these jars just by stuffing them down really, really hard. The harder you can stuff them in, something like this, it doesn't matter if it gets broken up. The harder you stuff something like this, the less air is in the jar, right? Now I have my parchment here in case, so that I can fold it up and empty it at the end. But be sure, see, the thing is with the London Sunshine, you know what? That one's still, I'm gonna put these other trays in. I'm gonna put them in for another hour while I unload my Nesco. This is the problem I have with, this is the problem I have with the London Sunshine. It shuts off. And my Nesco doesn't have a timer on it. My Nesco doesn't have a timer on it. So it runs until I decide to shut it off. Okay, here we go. It runs until I shut it off. So slap these together a little bit. And now let's have a look. And I'm going to check my bottom rack just to make sure it's as dry as the top. Yes. Okay. See, the Nesco, the London Sunshine was loaded first. And it went on for 10 hours. And then when it got down to 5 hours, I turned it back up to 10. So it got 15 hours. But it still had to sit in this kitchen until I got to it. So I'm going to put that on temp. Okay, hang on. And temp. There. Okay. So there's advantages and disadvantages to both dehydrators. But in all honesty, I would still like another London Sunshine. I would still like another London Sunshine, I think. I think I would be, you know, but as long as, like, my other Nesco broke down, and I just decided, since I got the London Sunshine, I only ever need 2 dehydrators. So, hi Denise. Right, now is the time when I can just speed the camera up. Look, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? All right. So yeah, I started sneezing at about 11:30 last night, and it was horrific. It was like, I got this itch in my nose, and I'll be into the chat in a minute when I'm done. Well, I guess I am done filming here. And I push these right down in. Right down in. The other ones were dry in the London Sunshine. However, there was one piece that was kind of rubbery. So it's like, you know what? I'd rather give them another hour. Go on, you've stayed your hour. So, yeah. So I was up until, I don't know, 6 o'clock this morning, sneezing, and even with Benadryl, right? But I just took Benadryl a half an hour ago so that I could get on here without sneezing all over the leeks. Give me a minute. Okay, that jar is crackerjack full. Stuff it down. Let's see if I can get the rest of this in here. And if the rest of this goes in here, then I will be able to fill up a second jar. There we go. That's good. Now that jar is chock-a-block full. Look, and I still have 5 trays of the London Sunshine and 1.5 trays of the London Sunshine, or of the Nesco. I could shut that camera off now, and we can visit. Hi, how's everybody doing? I love these jars. They're nice and big. It's one of the reasons I bought them. A, I love peaches. And B, I knew, hi, Robin Rose, yellow bird. Live chat is on. Hey, Bob, how are you? Terry, I'm sorry if I don't see everybody. It's, oh, yes, thank you for reminding me. So people have been asking me about my book. Now, they said you should write a cookbook, and I kind of have. One thing about doing it on parchment paper is any dirt that was left behind. I don't know if you can see the little dark flecks in there. I'm just going to dump that on the floor because I have to sweep after this. Oh, now. Oh. This is my Homestead book. I am not trying to sell it, but people have said, you ought to write a cookbook, you ought to write a cookbook. And in the link below any of my last 5 videos, you'll see a link to this book because people have asked. I forgot I actually had this still for sale, okay? Oh, awesome, Joe. I emailed you, honey. I emailed you. Now, this book is called Our Half Acre Homestead, Recipes, Canning, Dehydrating, and Need-to-Know Stuff. So it's not just a cookbook, okay? It is, the contents are recipes, the stuff you need to know first, like pie pastry, simple white bechamel sauce, simple syrups, basic, I'm not showing you, basic stocks and broths and egg noodles. Recipes, what's for supper, ham and egg pie, homestead mac and cheese, stuffed pepper, Yorkshire pudding, pork pie, and slow cooker spaghetti and meatballs, and holiday casserole, okay? Then there is make it ahead and freeze it, make it ahead and freeze it section. Meatloaf, meatballs, hash brown patties, Parmesan, Duchess potatoes. You can make those ahead and freeze. Then there's a whole section on soups and baking. Basic yeast bread, Kaiser rolls, 2-egg cake, simple shortbread, double chocolate peanut butter cookies, pecan snowballs, and oatmeal raisin, basic scones, chocolate zucchini bread, apple pie, pantry stock apple pie, pumpkin pie, mock apple pie, pumpkin pound cake. Ooh, I'll have to look that up. And then there's a canning section, okay? That says dill pickles, bread and butter pickles, hot dog relish, pickled beets, salsa, and Mrs. Wolfie's bold and sassy barbecue sauce, which I don't make anymore. I'd rather have homemade ketchup, and then I can dress it up however I want. There's pressure canning, beans, beets, cabbage, potatoes, pumpkin, and winter squash. There's a section on pressure canning meat. There's a dehydrating section. And the need to know stuff is rendering lard and suet, basic hot process soap, homemade laundry soap, suet cakes for chickens, no scrub tub cleaner, making potato starch, rapid peeling tomatoes, and spice blends. So you know it's just more than a cookbook, okay? It's actually a basic homestead kitchen instruction manual, all right? So I'm just telling you that because people have asked, and after after I shut this live stream down, I will put all the links for my Patreon, my Gab, my 4 jars. Remember, if you use the half acre, all one word, all in capital letters, all one word, you get 10% off your 4 jar stuff, right? So I've decided to start I'm canning some ground turkey and chicken today. You're cooked at first, right, sweet sugar? Sweet sipper? You're not raw packing, I hope, right? All right. So that's that. Hey, and today is Friday. Excuse me. That's a very good cup of tea. I love the first couple of sips of a hot cup of tea. Good. Excellent. Hi, Wild Fox. Leanne Bishop, hi. Today is Friday, and I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't tell you about Patreon. Seashell's always putting the links up, and again, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I just realized that people, if I don't tell you, you don't know it's out there, right? Hi, Angie. You ready for Freaky Friday tonight? Man, do I need it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any singing tonight because I've been sneezing since 11 o'clock last night. The only reason I'm not sneezing right now is because I've got Benadryl in my system. But every Monday and Wednesday, I go live, sometimes in the evening, but more often than not at about 4 in the afternoon. And you're nice and dry. Okay, just checking. And we just, talk about the things we really can't talk about anywhere else. However, I got a strike on the. I use my old Cooking with Cannabis channel because they've demonetized it, stopped me from getting tips and everything. So I use it to live stream for Patreon. However, I recently got a strike from it. I have to mow my yard it's a tough job, but unless it's really hot outside, I'm looking forward to late fall. Oh yeah, it was quite chilly here last night. Like at 5 o'clock this morning when I put Gracie out, I saw my breath. Oh, don't apologize, Bob. If you're apologizing for our conversation, don't. Don't apologize for the absurdity of the situation, right? I got a strike for medical misinformation for talking to Bob about medicating with marijuana. So that's as close as I can say. But we still talk about stuff. We just don't talk about, the restrictions are getting more and more and more bad. They're getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So I have been starting to do more rumbles and to move my YouTube, some of my older videos onto Rumble because it's starting to get redonkulous. But on Fridays, we turn Friday evenings for about an hour and a half. Sometimes we've gone as far as 2. Really ache for fibromyalgia. Anyone else? Oh yeah. My knees are not happy right now. Even though it's sunny out, I know there's damp weather, but we're just getting past some damp weather. So Fridays, we turn on the disco lights and the music. And we, some people come in with a hot cocoa, some people come in with a martini, I don't know. But I know that it's our time, patrons of my time. Hi, Sandy Null and Dima Beth, and Simply Jessica, to scrape off any work, chaotic, negative residue of the week. And we get silly. We dance and sing and talk about stuff. Well, I will have to fix it afterwards. Look in the description box below this video after I've closed the video, right? So it is a fun, relaxing time. It is. And we don't let too much negativity seep in. We're there just to, and yeah, the music's kind of old fart music. Like, we could do everything from Metallica to John Denver and even go back to like some big band music and stuff like that. Some jazz, some blues. It depends on the mood, right? So that's what we do on Fridays until BoobTube goes, oh, you're playing copyright music. And the way we stretch the time out to like an hour and a half is I just play music and then we pause and we talk a little bit. And it keeps us keeps us under the radar. Hi, Candy. How are ya? How are things in Hawaii, Seashell? I saw Oprah on a talk show or something or an interview where she's feeling attacked and vilified. When it's that's taking the focus off the real thing, which is the people of Maui. It's like, really, Oprah? Like you give a fiddler's fart? No. She's the Rock's Hugh Jackman. I'm people are. My favorite celebrities are dropping off the list like crazy. There you go. Howie says he feels weird when he sees Tom Hanks now. And he's never really... he said he gives him the creeps. But, I mean, all this stuff coming out and about, right? But, so I'm going to have to edit. I still have to edit you guys didn't get a video today because I didn't edit well, it's going to take time for the people. It's going to take time for the people to just realize and heal. They are still in shock. They get back to see homes in Lahaina September 25th. They need prayers and time to heal. Absolutely. But being slightly autistic makes it really hard for me to chat. I feel like I would just seem like a lurker. You can lurk all you want. Lots of people come into Freaky Friday and don't say a word. They don't. They just come in to, enjoy the atmosphere. Because I do talk to the people in chat, right? And then I get silly and I get up and I'll dance and I don't have a cowbell, but I have a goat bell. So everybody knows that In the Mood is coming on tonight. Sing. Tweedle, tweedle, tweedle-dee. I'm as happy as can be. You should include Jim Carrey on your list. I know how much you like him, just saying. Well, Jim Carrey and Johnny Depp are on the fringes. I'm watching them. Freaky Friday is usually at 8 o'clock. 8:30, somewhere around there. Your singing makes me happy. Oh, well, thank you. Makes me happy, too. That's another reason for Freaky Friday. Oh, hang on a second. That's another good... Oh, here we go. Hang on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Boop. Come on, get off of here. See, if Facebook pops up on here, I can't get it to get down. Come on, bugger off. It won't even move. It won't even move out of the chat. It's in the chat. It's covering the chat. Oh, okay, there. I've got it down to like a little icon at the corner of the screen. I agree, it makes me happy to just love being in the kitchen with you, listening to your stories and hearing all the sounds of cooking. Oh, that reminds me. Let me check these. I know they haven't been in there long, but I put them in on a higher temperature just to... I'm pretty sure they're ready. I'll give them another 5 minutes. Talking about oh yeah, right. Yesterday when I was chopping all the leeks, and I'm wondering if it was the dehydrating of the leeks that got me sneezy, because I usually do it out in the porch. But when I was chopping the leeks, someone said, oh, I save all my tops, because I threw the ones that I cut off in the garden, the tops, I threw them in the ravine, but I still had quite a bit of tops on them. And someone said, oh, I saved them for broth. And I said, oh, I'm not making broth this year. And I thought about that and I went, silver bowls? Oh God, I've had them. I got a set as a wedding gift. I found a great big one. It's a dishpan size. I got that at a yard sale. I never really buy anything new unless I have to, right? But, and new ain't so great anymore. And I said, oh, I'm not going to, and I thought, what are you talking about, Bev? What am I missing? I don't know anything about rich farts. That's not me. I know that much. Because I'll tell you something. I was making decent money last year. Like a regular, paycheck. And then the pandemic stuff and the economy issues have all started trickling down into, because what's the first thing to go is ad revenue, right? And then my bonus structure was gone from 4 jars. And not as many people are buying 4 jars because, they're expensive, but they're worth it, right? Got my new dehydrator yesterday. Will be filling it today. Could not find one at the thrift stores. Got cheap Nesco since it used the parts I already had. Good for you. Good for you. So when I was done chopping, like I finished chopping about 7:30 last night. I stopped. I had dinner. We had dinner. And then I came back over here and chopped while we watched TV so we could talk, right? And I realized that, Bev, there's a reason the fact that the carrots are late has discombobulated my schedule, right? Now, There are carrots north of here, and so I can only assume they're coming down. Hey, Kiko! I can only assume they're coming down the line here, and by next payday, which is, Howie's payday next week, I'll be doing carrots. So I went through all the leek tops that I cut off, and I washed them, and I filled a 1-gallon bag and put them in my freezer. Because when I harvested my celery, I didn't pull them up by the roots and then cut the roots off and throw them in the ravine. I chopped them this high above the ground, and I left the roots in the soil, and they have been sprouting green things. So I figured part of me is like, you don't have any celery for broth in the freezer, and you're not sure the carrots are going to come. And then it dawned on me, Bev, just because I am a creature of habit. So I saved a 1-gallon bag of leek greens from chopping yesterday. And what am I missing? Oh, Bob, what you're missing is people waking up to the celebrity elites and their twisted ways of doing things. Has anyone used 4 jars vacuum sealer kit? No, I haven't. I have cabbages from leaving stems in the ground last fall. I've left my stems in the ground. So what I'm going to do is, next weekend is carrots. Next weekend is carrots. And I'm going to scrub all the carrots. And this year I'm buying 3 bags, not 2. And I'm going to scrub all the carrots. And then I peel them and cut the ends off for chopping or to clean them. And I put them in a bag, and they will go in the freezer until I'm done canning and dehydrating all the carrots. When that is done, I will go out to my garden, unless I get a frost beforehand, but I will go out to my garden and I will harvest all the celery bottoms that have started to sprout. I will harvest them, I will cut the roots off, and I will put them in a bucket or put them in the sink, and I'll wash them all. And those celery bottoms that have been in the garden since I harvested the celery are all going into with the carrot peels, the leeks, and, for making my vegetable broth. And I'm a little backward today because the Benadryls keep making me feel kind of wonky. But I'll be making my broth in pints this year, because I noticed when I do it in quarts, come on, off. When I do it in quarts, why aren't you turning off? Thank you. When I do it in quarts and I want to make vegetable broth infused rice, I have to use 2 cups of rice, and then I end up with a crock pot of rice that, needs to be done in stir fries and stuff for the rest of the week. When if I have a pint of broth, I use 1 cup of rice, and that's just enough for Howie and I to have rice and veg with our meat, and for Gracie to have a little bit of rice and veg left over, right? All right, so, that's hot. So, let me get this over here like this. So that's why I'm going to can them in pints this year. Plus, I have a surplus of pint jars, so that's also a good use for them. Okay. Am I missing anything? No, but all the vacuum sealer lids work on the same principle. Find a cheap one. There you go. There you go. So last night's supper was pork chops. I'm not cooking tonight. Yay! Howie said, I got some hamburgers and sausages, and he's got hamburgers and sausage bun or hot dog buns and hamburger buns in the coach. So we're having probably hamburgers tonight. I'm going to go on my box out in the porch, and while I'm looking through my tomatoes to put some in the freezer, I'm going to find a slicing one. for our burgers. Using quartz would save on lids. I'd freeze the leftover. No, you know what? I have lots of lids. I have lots of lids. And I'm hoping if I need more, because all my lids I got free from 4 jars. So I'm gonna use them, right? Oh, this jar's, I may have to open the other jar and cram some more in it, because there's still 3 trays here, and this jar is quite full. I forget how much one of these trays holds, because there's no hole in the center. So it actually holds probably a cup to a cup and a half more than the Nesco. But I'm grateful for my Nesco. I really am. Had a lovely visit with my Bubba today. Every time I see him, he's developing something new. Hey, Willow, how are you, darling? He's picked up something new. Like, he stands now. He's got to see me. He stands. And then he was shaking his hands, meaning, you got to sing. Well, you know what he did today? He saw me, and he crawled across the floor. Somebody had their maracas, shakers, maracas. Somebody had, Mel's at her parents' house, and somebody had brought these back, I guess, from a trip. And he crawls across the floor, and he gets the maraca, and he comes back, and he stands up, and he starts shaking it. And I went, tweedle, tweedle, and he danced, like he bobbed a couple of times, and he shook the maraca. He's brilliant. He's not even 9 months old yet, and he's already taken steps. My grandchild's brilliant. Just totally brilliant. I got 2 more trays. I think I'm gonna get this last one in here. And I'm going to see if I got room in the other jar to stuff just a little bit more in there. Small amount of tomatoes. I freeze them as they ripen, but I cut the stem end off, and then when I'm ready to use them, I will pour boiling water over them. And I don't care, but I need a box of tomatoes. So next weekend, I'm going to be doing a lot of canning and prep. I really am. Hey, Mary Jane Will, how are you? Yeah, these jars, I'm glad, because I knew they would fill 2 half-gallon jars. But the truth is, I like having to shove them right down inside. Right down inside. And I still have one more tray, which I'm going to shove down in the other one. That's why I use parchment paper. Let me see. How full is this one compared to this one? Yeah, this one could use some more. So there's that. You know what? I'll leave them both open, and I'll divide it. Woo! Yay! Lots and lots of yummy, flavorful leeks. I also like dehydrating. I didn't dehydrate any beans this year. I like dehydrating. Okay, you're popping up. So I'm just going to shove you down. And put the lid on real quick. I like to be able to make care packages. Like, I'm planning on, if I can, do some vegetable... Yeah, this one could have used more. Doing vegetable broth rice and dehydrating it. And then I can put it in a bag. I can measure it out and put it in a bag and put in some dehydrated leeks and dehydrated carrots. And dehydrated leeks and dehydrated carrots. And then I can send it to, like, my sister, right? With, and it would be lightweight. I used to do this for Briar, but it would be dehydrated rice, but the rice has been cooked in a vegetable broth. And then dehydrated, and then it becomes instant rice. So you take, 2 cups of that, and or a cup and a half of for one person, a cup and a half of the dehydrated rice. I sent you a message on last live, but I don't think you saw it. People will. Okay, yeah, but you need to email me that information, Empress. You need to email me that information. I'm using a London Sunshine and an Esco. I'm using what I got. So I can put a cup and a half of vegetable infused dehydrated rice, and then a quarter cup of carrots and a quarter cup of leeks, and then put it in a Ziploc baggie, and then do several of them, and then send them to my sister. I can mail them to her, right? Let's get this last little bit here. All right, I'm gonna have to clean up all this stuff, but I got dry leeks all over the place here. I don't want to waste any. It's a lot of work. I was so tired last night, and then topping it off that I couldn't sleep. Oh, I'm sorry. Of course, Frida. Of course, everybody's always in our prayers. All right, give me a second, guys. I've got to finish this video. Come on. My hands don't want to work today. The new camera, the battery didn't hold a charge as long. And I went and looked at my other camera where the viewfinder wasn't working, and the battery was bigger. So I've switched it over to this one. That's the beauty of having two that don't work. One that doesn't work, one that doesn't work properly, and a new one is now I have spare parts, right? Okay. Hi, Paula. Okay. So these jars are almost a half gallon. So, and I crammed them full. So I'm going to say I have like a gallon and a half of tightly crammed leeks. Bounty! And yes, the tops that I cut off, I saved the best of them, washed them, put them in a 1 gallon freezer bag, and they're in the freezer waiting for carrots to be peeled and put in the peelings put in the freezer, and for me to harvest my celery bottoms out of the garden to make vegetable broth. This is the Mrs.V from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, I'll never complain about having too much of anything, whether it's zucchini or leeks or love. Mwah! Take care, God bless. How was that? Is that okay? That video is done. Now it's editing. Look, you can't even, nothing moves. Absolutely nothing moves. Can't hear a thing. Nope. So, let's have a cup of tea. Let's go in my office. Let's take my tea and go in my office. You found 2 gallon Ziploc bags? I know it's so satisfying, right? Do you mind if we go into the office? Oh, so I can go behind the fan? Oi! I will put you against my chest so that you don't get dizzy with my drunken sailor gait. Because of my knees and stuff, I walk oddly. Okay, let's do this. Get you here. Do this. Turn this on. There we go. I am so looking forward to Freaky Friday tonight. Don't let my sneezing fool you, patrons. We will be there. Oh, so I don't know what I was talking about a minute ago. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. So I've been having a Let's eat a chocolate chip cookie. I don't have any chocolate chip cookies. I have chocolate zucchini bread. Yeah, I do. And I like it because we don't really heavily sugar it. Like that I used like 1.5 cups of sugar, and I did 4 mini loaves and 1 full-size loaf. But if that had been packed brown sugar, it would have been sweeter. And I also substituted milk because I didn't have, hey, Yellowbird. Hi, Michelle. And I didn't have any sour cream, which makes it uber rich. So I didn't have, I had to use milk. But sour cream or even yogurt, low-fat plain yogurt would be good too. So you're getting less, but it's rich stuff. And so I like a slice with a bit of butter on it because it's not overly sweet, but it's just, you know, just right. Oh my gosh. Hang on a second. Yeah, you see, I only get about an hour of relief from the Benadryl before I start sneezing again. I'm soon going to start recording Little Women too. Is that book up here, or is it in my? I think it is in my book, on my bookshelf. If I can find it. I'm soon going to be starting to record Little Women. Drunken Sailor Gate. Some days I have that too. Well, when my dad would say, we watched a movie once when I was a kid. It was an old black and white movie, and it was down at the dock. There was a scene down at the docks, and these are, you know, sailors coming off of ships. We're talking sailing ships, right? Hello, whatever that is, Nambet. But you saw sailors coming down off the ships, and when they'd been on these sailing ships for so long that they got used to the rolling of the ship and the rocking of the ship. So when they get on dry land, they actually rock and roll in their walk as if they're walking on a ship. Because if you think about this, they've gone from solid ground to acclimating to a tossing and turning ship, or a, you know what I mean, pitching and rolling. Thank you, KB. Wait. How are you, sweetie? And so when they get on land, it's like they're on a ship for the first time, only in reverse. And so my dad said that's a really good piece of authentic filming. Can you block him? Them? Whatever? You have 3 kittens racing up and down the hall. Sounds like horses. Well, you know what? It's nice to know they're playing, right? So I remember my dad saying, that's very authentic. And I said, what? He said, look at that sailor walking, you know? And so when I say a drunken sailor on shore leave, it means I've just come off the ship. I'm rocking and rolling, but I'm drunk. I'm not really drunk, but that's the way I walk. So I always cover the lens of the camera when I'm walking, because you guys are going to get this, you know, make you sick, make you seasick. So anyway, I am going to get some editing done. And, I'll be home in about an hour and a half. So I have just enough time to edit the 2 videos, and they'll be out Monday and Tuesday. And, patrons, I will see you. We have some new patrons, a couple of new patrons. So if, patrons, if you see them in the live tonight, make sure to welcome them. Anyway, well, I'll welcome them too. Right. Anyway, I got to go. I'm going to get some editing done and clean up all the leek bits off of my island and floor. All right. Mwah. Take care. God bless. See you tonight, patrons.